Hello, all my dear student friends. We are studying the subject Power Engineering and Refrigeration, and I welcome you all for today's session of the topic Engine Control Unit. So, in order to ensure the optimum performance of the engine, it is necessary to ensure the optimum performance of the engine. So, for that purpose of ensuring the optimum performance of the engine, various parameters of the engine are controlled by electronic control unit. So the electronic control unit will control the various parameters of the engine like the ignition timing, the air fuel ratio, etc. in the SI engines. Then the fuel injection timing, the duration of the fuel injection, the quantity of the fuel injected in case of the CI engines. At the same time, the speed governing, then the variable valve timing actuator. That means the opening and closing of the inlet as well as the exhaust valve is also controlled by the electronic control unit through the actuators and the oil control valve. Then the EGR valve, exhaust gas recirculation valve. That means the recirculation of the exhaust gases is also controlled by the engine control unit, if at all it is present in the engine. Then the geometry of the variable geometry turbocharger is also controlled by the electronic control unit. Geometry means actually the area is controlled, and this area for the flow of the exhaust gases to the turbine is controlled by adjusting the vanes or by some other mechanism. So the several parameters of the engine are controlled by the engine control unit so that the excellent performance of the engine is ensured. But for this particular purpose, the engine control unit has to obtain the signals from the various sensors. But for this input signal from various sensors is obtained by the ECU, and these signals, these input signals are processed by the ECU. In some cases they are stored by the ECU, and after processing these signals, input signals, output is given by the electronic control unit to the various actuators, and these actuators will actually control the various parameters mentioned above for the best performance, optimum performance of the engine. Now, what are the sensors present in the engine? Let us see one by one. First of all, the throttle position sensor. So here we have the throttle position sensor. This is the throttle valve. So the position of the throttle valve decides that how much air will enter towards the engine cylinder. So the opening and closing of the throttle valve, how much the throttle valve is open, how much it is closed, that position of the throttle valve is sensed by the engine control unit through the sensors. That is the throttle valve position sensor or throttle position sensor. Then the airflow sensor is also used. The airflow meter may be used. So some device which will sense the flow rate of the air, and this device will give the signal to the engine control unit regarding the air flow rate. Then the fuel pressure is also sensed by the engine control unit. Here the fuel is entering towards the injector from the fuel tank. So the pressure of this fuel is sensed by the sensors, and the input is given to the electronic control unit, signal is given to the electronic control unit. Now at the same time, the crankshaft speed is also sensed by the sensors. So we have the RPM sensor or the crankshaft speed sensor. Then knock sensor is also there, whether knocking is taking place in the engine or whether the knocking process is about to take place in the engine, whether the conditions in the engine, the combustion conditions are becoming severe, so that this may lead to knocking in the engine. So that sensor is also provided, so that the engine control will know whether knocking is taking place or knocking is going to take place inside the engine cylinder. Then the temperature sensors are there. So this is the engine jacket, and the temperature of the coolant which is flowing through the engine jacket, the coolant or the cooling water, jacket cooling water, the temperature of this jacket cooling water is sensed by the temperature sensors. Not only this, but the temperature of the air which is entering, the temperature of the fuel which is entering, that is also sensed by the temperature sensors. Then oxygen sensors are also used. Now in the exhaust pipe, how much oxygen is going out of the engine, that is sensed. Now this is the catalytic converter. The catalytic converter will convert the more harmful pollutants into less harmful pollutants. So during this reaction there is emission of oxygen also. So the oxygen percentage will vary. So once again we are using the oxygen sensors here, as the exhaust gas leave the catalytic converter. So we are having the two oxygen sensors, and what is controlled is the fuel injector. So the signal from the electronic control valve is given to the fuel injector, so that the opening and closing of the fuel injector is controlled, the duration of fuel injection is controlled, the quantity of fuel injection is controlled here. This is the fuel injector. So the quantity of the fuel injected is controlled, the duration is controlled, the exact timing is controlled. Not only this, but the profile is also controlled. That means what should be the profile, what should be the pressure at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, what should be the quantity of injection, and how this quantity of injection should vary during the injection process. That is also controlled by the electronic control unit. Then the ignition is also controlled. When the spark will be produced, the exact timing of the production of the spark is also controlled by this particular engine control unit, and for that we are also having the voltage sensors, so that the so as to know whether the intensity of the spark is appropriate or not. Then few more sensors we are having. We are also having the crank angle sensor, so or the crank position sensor. So what is the position of the crank, at which angle the crank is there with reference to some top dead center or bottom dead center position. So the crank angle sensor or the crank position sensor is also present. Then the engine vacuum sensor, how much vacuum is present inside the engine, that is also sensed, because how much the throttle valve is open, that alone will not decide the flow rate of the air towards the engine. The flow rate of the air towards the engine also depends upon the vacuum in the engine. If there is more vacuum in the engine, there will be more pressure difference. So vacuum will be there during the suction stroke. So when the pressure difference is more, then more air will enter inside the engine cylinder. So it is necessary to sense the vacuum of the engine also. Then the oil pressure is also sensed. The lubricating oil pressure is also sensed, so that with proper pressure, whether the lubricating oil is being supplied wherever there is relative motion, that is also ensured by the engine control unit. And the voltage sensor, as I have told you, the voltage is also sensed, because if appropriate voltage is there, then the spark produced will be of the right intensity and the combustion of the fuel will be proper. So the combustion of the fuel in the engine cylinder in the combustion chamber is very very important. So if the combustion is proper, complete combustion takes place, then that leads to the better performance of the engine. So these are the various sensors which are used and which will give the signal to the electronic control unit, so that the electronic control unit can ensure the optimum performance of the engine. Now the electronic control unit is actually the brain or the computer of the engine. It controls all the functions of the engine, and these functions include the regulating and maintaining the amount of fuel and air in the fuel injection part, and it helps in increasing the horsepower of the engine. The main function of the electronic engine control unit is to control a series of function of actuators. So the actuators are controlled by the electronic control unit or the engine control unit on an internal combustion engine, and ensuring the excellent engine performance. So as I have told you, the excellent performance of the engine is ensured by the engine control unit. So this is the approximate structure of the engine control unit or the engine control module, right? So the engine control module consists of the various devices, including the engine control unit and the various sensors and the wiring. So this complete section is nothing but the engine control module, right? So this is the engine control unit, and these are the various sensors and these are the various actuators, right? So what are the sensors? First of all, fuel pressure sensor is there. So the fuel pressure sensor is also giving the signal to the electronic control unit, which consists of the several microprocessors. Then the temperature sensors are there. So the temperature of the water, cooling water is sensed, so that the engine temperature can be sensed. The air and the fuel temperature is also sensed. The throttle position sensor, as we have seen, that is also present. Then the airflow sensor is there. The engine speed sensor is there, that is the RPM of the crankshaft is also sensed. Then the vehicle speed. So always the engine speed and the vehicle speed may not match. So the vehicle speed and the coordination between the engine speed and the vehicle speed, it depends upon the ratio, transmission ratio. So the transmission ratio may vary. So we have to sense the engine speed separately and the vehicle speed separately. Then the atmospheric pressure is also sensed by this engine control unit, right? And then there are some set point generators. The accelerator sensor is there. Then the speed selection lever, that is also sensed, right? So that means what is the transmission ratio between the engine and actually the wheels. So whether we are using the first gear or second gear or third gear, that is also used. So what is the position of the lever of the gearbox, that is also sensed by the engine control unit, right? So the information regarding the maps is also there. GPRS setting is also there. Then the injected quantity, how much quantity of the fuel should be injected, that information is given to the fuel injectors. So we are having the several actuators. Then the timing at which the injection should start, that information is given to the fuel injector, and the fuel injection pump is also controlled. Then at the same time we are having the exhaust gas recirculation valve. The exhaust gas recirculation valve is also controlled. Then the starting is also controlled, and the diagnosis of the engine control unit is also done. So for that we are having the particular ports and all that. We can connect the scanner, and after connecting the scanner we can perform the diagnosis. So later on we are going to study in details about the diagnosis of the engine control unit. So now let us go ahead. So we are studying the engine control unit. The engine control module Actually it is the same as the engine control unit, but the only difference is that if we name overall combined section of control unit in engine, then we call it as engine control module. So engine control module is nothing but the overall combined section of control unit. So engine control unit is the integral part of the electronic fuel injection system, that is EFI system, a type of fuel injection system commonly used among cars. So the electronic fuel injection can be divided into subsystems, namely the air induction system, the fuel delivery system, and the electronic control system. So let us study all these, and from here the function of the ECU starts, electronic control unit starts functioning from here. So first function is controlling of air fuel mixture. So various function of the electronic control unit we are going to study. So the air fuel mixture is controlled by the electronic control unit. So this is one of the most important function of the electronic control unit, as it controls the air fuel mixture used by the engine. So for this purpose, it determines the amount of air fuel mixture to be injected in the engine. So from the input data is computed. The input data obtained from the various sensors is processed, and that is computed, and the amount of the air fuel mixture, the exact amount of the air fuel mixture is determined by the ECU. So the exact amount of the air fuel mixture which should be injected into the engine cylinder, that is computed, that is determined by the engine control unit, and then the program receiver receives the necessary data, analyzes it. First of all, the program receives the necessary data, it is analyzed, and then the air fuel ratio is computed, and then it is supplied. Then the air mixture of air and fuel is supplied. The appropriate amount of mixture is supplied to the injector at the right time. So it also computes the right time to deliver the air fuel mixture in proper ratio. So the ratio is also controlled, duration is also controlled, quantity is controlled, the right time is also controlled, everything is controlled. So the controlling the ignition timing spark, ECU adjusts the exact timing of the spark or the ignition timing to provide better power and economy. So the exact timing of the spark is also very important, so that we can get the complete combustion of the fuel as far as possible, so that better power can be obtained and economy can be also be obtained, so that there is no unburned fuel coming out of the engine cylinder. So the ECU will detect itself whether there is a problem in the combustion, in the compression stroke or not, and it works accordingly and set the timing of ignition. So the ignition timing is set by sensing whether the compression stroke is taking place properly or not, whether the combustion is proper or not, whether knocking is there or not, and then accordingly the ignition timing is set and sometimes reset also. This is mainly happen in the condition whenever there is an unburnt air fuel mixture. So the unburnt air fuel mixture may leave the engine, so that is totally undesirable, because the efficiency of the engine will be reduced and the harmful pollutants will be there. If there is incomplete combustion, then instead of carbon dioxide we will get carbon monoxide, which is more harmful than carbon dioxide, right? And moreover, the efficiency of the engine will also be reduced, and it is subject to the combination of heat and pressure. So the unburnt fuel, when the unburnt fuel is subjected to the high temperature or it is heated and it is subjected to high pressure, then knocking may take place or detonation will take place. So this results in detonation, also known as knocking or pinking. So that should be avoided, so that is sensed by the ECU. So ECU also detects knocking and delays the time of spark to prevent the knocking process. Now the idle speed is also controlled, and the variable valve timing is also controlled by the ECU. So most cars have an built-in control system in their ECU for controlling the idle speed. So how much should be the idle speed? That should be controlled, because unnecessary there should be no wastage of fuel during the idling. So minimum speed, minimum idling speed and minimum power should be provided, and minimum fuel consumption should be there during the idling of the engine. So idle speed is controlled through the programmable throttle stop. So the throttle stop is programmed, and through that the idling speed is controlled. Apart from the controlling on idle speed, ECU also controls the timing at which the valve open or close in the engine cycle. So the exhaust valve and the inlet valve opening and closing is also controlled by the ECU. So that we already studied while studying the engine variable valve timing diagram. The best suitable and appropriate timing of opening and closing of valve helps in increasing the power and economy of the engine. So we have studied the variable valve timing diagram, and we also studied that how the valve timings are varied. Variable valve timing, how the variation is done in the timings of the opening and closing of the valve, as well as in the production of the spark or the injection of the fuel, how that is possible and how that is controlled by the engine control unit. In the previous videos we already seen that. So ECU also increases the torque and the BHP. Brake horsepower is also increased by the ECU. The torque is increased as it governs the fuel injection into the cylinder. It is programmed for the efficient performance of the engine at any environment. Whenever ECU encounters increase in load, then it initiates a signal for more fuel injection, and thus engine generates more BHP. So thank you, my dear friends.